Welcome to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to do the fuel tank on this truck, but to do that I got to go back in time a little bit. Probably maybe 3-4 weeks ago when I took the fuel tank out of the truck. So we got to go back in time a little bit to the removal of it, and then we'll come back and we'll get it installed. I'm actually pulling the fuel tank out of this thing. Probably going to rob the pump out of the white one because it's got a fuel level sender that I know is working, and it's got a pump that I know is working. I'm suspecting the pump is not working on this, or it's working, but the check valve in it isn't working because the truck's got kind of a long crank. So I think I'm just going to swap them. Plugs look the same. Everything looks the same. So should be okay with that. This is a 98. That's a 2000. This truck has a heavy duty skid plate. I just pulled it out. The drive shaft's on top of it because as far as I know, you can't get these fuel tanks out without pulling the drive shaft. And I don't know if that shield's going back on. It's a heavy duty shield, or it was a heavy duty shield. It's pretty crusty now, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to go back on, but I've just about got this thing ready to lift up. I'm going to lift it up and take it out with my I got a jack that rolls around, but I think I got everything unplugged. I got the neck, fuel neck. That's crustier than crap. I'm going to probably rob the other one. The other one's got a new one. Well, new so many years ago. So one really stupid thing about these fuel tanks on these S10s is there's a bolt. This bolt right here goes in that hole right there, and pretty much you got to use an open end wrench or a box end. It will go on there to get that bolt out, because this parking brake cables are in the way. You can't get anything on there. Ain't nothing power. And good luck if yours is seized in there. Good luck. I used a steel bar and took mine out, but surprisingly, these bolts are coming out. I broke one bolt on that heavy duty shield, but I would have bet money. I would have bet you money that absolutely none of those bolts were going to come out, but actually everything's come out. I got 3 more I got to take out there, and then I got the fuel tank strap to unbolt there. So one thing you got to be careful of is this is a fuel tank, so it's got fuel. Fuel is flammable. People don't realize how easily it is to set fuel vapors on fire. It's pretty easy. So I mean, you gotta be careful when you're working around fuel. So just be careful out there if you're doing that. Yeah, I'm going to get the rest of my bolts. Actually, I might raise it up. Then I'll pull the rest of my bolts out, and this tank should pretty much fall out of here. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so this has turned out to be a battle, just like I thought it was going to be. I got pieces of the strap down there. I got my main piece right here. I got to cut that rotten strap off. I got a new strap kit, but I got to cut the rivets and get that old strap, but you can't. I don't know if you can buy that other piece or not. This is really crusty. I might throw it in my sandblaster. I really don't know why the whole truck is crusty, but yeah, you can see fuel tank is gone. And I'm fighting with these straps. Well, actually, it's just this strap here. Had to cut this one off right here. This one was easy. You just put a vice grip on it, pulled it down, and I was able to cut the bolt and get it out. This one here, not so much, because there's no slack to cut it, and it's just spinning in the back there. So what I'm doing is I cut an X in the head of the bolt, and just like a rivet on a square body, I got the air hammer with a chisel end on it, and I'm just gonna break it off. That's about all you can do in a situation where you can't actually get to cutting it. If there is something good out of this, the frame behind the fuel tank actually looks pretty good. I was expecting a mess back here, but like the white truck was pretty rotted, but this looks actually pretty good. The only spot there's a problem is right here. This has gotten weak, and I see the white truck, this bracket actually looks pretty good. I'm tempted to steal that cross member off, but I think that's going to be way more work than I want to do. So I'll probably just end up cutting this out or something and putting a new piece in there or something like that. And somehow this is all full of junk in there. I got to somehow get all this out. I think it's full up to these bolt holes with junk. So I got to get that out somehow. I disconnected the fuel lines. All there is the hard lines right here, and I've got these covered, and so junk don't fall in them, and so I ain't got fuel vapors out here while I'm using my cutoff wheel and causing sparks. So I did let everything air out because I spilled some fuel and stuff. So you don't want to start cutting when you can really smell fuel, guys, because that could be a problem. But I got to knock this off here. Or I got to knock this the rest of this bolt head off, and this pretty much got the fuel tank out. So this job is going to start going the other way. Okay, so just wanted to show the bracket I'm saving here for the fuel tank. There's 2 rivets right here that hold the strap on. Grind the heads off. Punch and a hammer, knock them out. Junk strap is free. I'm going to throw that away. New strap, I'll just take some small bolts and bolt it on there. And then, yeah, I'll have a new bracket and strap here. This bracket actually ain't as bad as I thought it was. It's actually pretty good shape. Like I said, I think I'm just going to throw it in the sandblaster real quick, clean it up, maybe throw some paint on it, and it'll be good as new. Okay, so just moving along here on this frame. I got my needle scaler out. Basically just trying to work on the area where the fuel tank's going to prevent me from doing any more work, so I can get the fuel tank back in, so this thing's actually running and driving again. But I'm working on this cross member here because this will be hard to deal with once the tank's back on again. I actually sprayed that with Undergone, something I got from Eastwood. There's undercoating still left on that cross member, if you can believe it. So yeah, I'm just trying to get that cleaned up. Once I get this cleaned up, I'm probably going to start making a deal to fix that rot. And then the frame rail is a little thin down here, so I think I might add a piece there But I think that's going to be pretty much the extent of actual frame repair, because I think it all looks pretty good. Oh yeah, I cut off all the squares. I don't know where the squares are for this side, but I cut off all these squares here. These were put on, I take it when the body lift went on, that helped support the bed. They were on the frame rails, not there, but it was over there. But that's how I think I'm gonna make some new ones. And like I said, it's just helps support the bed with the body lift. I don't know if that came with the body lift or someone decided to do that or not. I really don't know. So I got them off, and actually someone had run this brake line through. There was one of those squares right here. They actually run this brake line through the square. I don't know why you would do that, but they did that. So yeah, I took that up. I took the brake line off. See the brake line there. I got a new brake hose for back here, and the line right there, that one there, looks original to the truck. It's probably gonna blow out, so I cut that off. I'll just make a whole new line back here. I got a new rubber hose, and then this is already a new line. I don't know when it broke, but someone put a new line in. I'm just gonna fix this. I'm gonna move it back, and I'm gonna run it kind of like underneath the frame where it should be. So I'll get that took care of once I get probably this area cleaned up. I'm thinking about using some POR 15 just to coat everything. I don't know. We'll see here. But oh yeah, I got to do a little bit of. I had to cut this. This broke, and I had to cut this bolt off, and I kind of got into the metal there, so I'm gonna weld that up a little bit. And actually I see a little hole right here, so I'll probably put some weld on that as well. The other side I don't see anything going on with that side. This is like the driver's side took the brunt of the rust. I take it because that's when they spread the salt and everything on the roadways. They kind of spread it in the middle, so like the driver's side of every vehicle. Seems like the driver's side seems to be the worst on everything that I've seen anyway. But yeah, anyway, I gotta get back to work here. I gotta get scraping this undercoating off here and get to work. I need to get something done. Okay, on a side note, I just noticed the door works perfectly with the truck supported. It's not on the wheels, it's on the lift, the hoist. So basically it's being held up by the frame. This door is perfect. Absolutely perfect. It's lined up right on the money. Which tells me that it's like the frame must be sagging, causing the front of the truck to push on that hinge and push the door down, is what I'm thinking. I didn't think that frame looked bad enough to cause any sagging issues, but that's really all it can be, because like I said, right now the hoist is picking the frame up, so it's eliminating the wheels from being able to kind of try to buckle the frame, if you know what I'm saying. So that's interesting. I just opened the door to shut the window so all this rust dust wouldn't go inside the cab, and I noticed that door works perfect now. So very interesting. Okay, so I got my little Hobart out. I've been working away here. Hopefully there's enough light here. There's my repair, guys. Started out, put a piece here because the frame had been compromised a little bit, and it was thinner. Actually, it welded really good, but it did look a little compromised. So I put a strip in here, kind of connected it to this piece here a little bit, and then I cut a strip out of here, and then I made a piece and I stuck it in there and I connected it to this piece. So this should be super strong, probably stronger than it was because it's actually welded, it riveted from the factory. And then I'm not real proud of this, but I kind of gooped some weld on here. I was using the air hammer and I poked through. So I should have probably just cut this and put a patch there, but I just spot welded it until I actually found good metal. I mean, you're not gonna weld bad metal. So the fact that there's weld there tells you that it's good enough to weld on. So should be good. Doesn't need to look pretty. It just needs to be nice and strong. And yeah, I feel that's actually, I think that's stronger than it was. So I think I'm done under here as far as welding. That's what I wanted to fix. When I cut this, you can see this is nice and thick. I actually welded really good. When something welds good, it's especially with how hot I got the thing turned all the way up. It'll find the bad metal if you got bad metal. Oh yeah, I forgot to do my little bed perches. I got to do the top sides of them. So when I bring it down here, I'll probably hit them, grind that smooth, and yeah, we got to go on to kind of probably coating, putting something down. I gotta clean it up down here a little bit more. I just went through with the needle scaler real quick, got some of the big stuff, but before I put the tank up here, I want to have this like coated with something. So then we flash forward to today, and you can see I've got the whole frame coated. I didn't do just behind the fuel tank. I kind of just stripped it down and did everything. So yeah, it's ready for the fuel tank. Fuel tank is over here. There it is. I've had this for a little while because I thought I was going to install it before I painted everything, but decided to get the frame all painted before I put this in. So there it is, new tank, really nice. It's like coated with something. It's gray. It come with a new lock ring and O-ring in there. Actually, the kit I bought came with new straps too. So it comes with both straps. I just bolted this strap onto my bracket. That was the original bracket. Sandblasted it, painted it. Used some stainless button head bolts so it don't mar the tank underneath there. Got some new Dorman. These are like the nuts and bolts for this strap here that goes to that cross member. And then I'm going to add, I've got this rubber roof material, RV rubber roof material. I'm going to use that to go underneath the straps for like a homemade anti-squeak kit. So yeah, really, I was surprised to see this tank like coated with something. I'm really pleasantly surprised to see that. I have not actually opened this up until now. I've had it probably 3-4 weeks, but it looks really good. So I'm going to get this together. You take this piece here and you install that on the tank, and then that's going to go up in the frame. You got four mounts there. that go through the frame, and then this strap here goes around, and like I said, connects to the little cross member that I did the repair to. So yeah, I'm gonna start getting all this stuff prepped and assembled, and I'll kind of take you along as I get things done. Okay, so I got that bracket installed. See, it goes up and around. So got my little rubber piece in there. I'll put that strap in there once I get the tank up inside the frame there, and I've got these 4 bolts started. Then we'll run that other strap, and I'll show you that when I do it. So over at the frame here, I just had my fluid film out, and I sprayed all behind where this fuel tank is going. You probably can't tell, but it's shiny there because the fluid film's on there. I took my wand, I went inside the frame to about here. I got to paint the rest of that, so I didn't want to get that all full of fluid film yet. But once that's painted, I'll fill the whole frame with fluid film. But yeah, I went up inside this cross member with fluid film, and actually I went on the outside here where it's going to be up against the tank. I'll probably have to put another rubber strip there. But yeah, I'm going to coat it inside the frame here. And right here, I really coated in here because this is where the tank sits, and all the junk gets right in here. So I got the POR 15 on the frame, and then the fluid film on top of that. I feel like that should give me a pretty darn good protection from salt and everything else that's going to hit this truck. So I'm going to go get the tank. I'm going to put it on my little stand here, and I'm going to start installing it. Okay, so there it is, installed, guys. Looks pretty good in there. I got my fuel and everything's, I robbed, this is the sender and pump from the white truck, because I know the fuel sender, or the fuel sender works. And I actually swapped out, the white one still runs. It's actually running on the pump that was in this truck, and the fuel gauge doesn't work. So I'm pretty confident that this is going to get the fuel gauge working in this truck, which is kind of a big deal. But you can see the straps that go around there. There's the one strap right there. I'm a little confused with this plastic piece right here, where exactly that went. I believe it went there. But the white truck also has a plastic skid plate, kind of a small one. I may rob that and throw it on here. Like I said, the one that came on this truck is so crusty, so rusty that I don't think it's going to work out. But anyway, I'm going to rob the filler neck from the white one, because again, it's a lot newer piece. I already swapped out. I put the old stuff on the white one and fired it up. It's running. So all I needed to do is run and move around while I rob parts from it. But anyway, the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to get 5 gallons of fuel. This is an 18-gallon tank. Should equal quarter tank on the fuel gauge, so I'll be able to kind of see if that's working. So that's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to go get some fuel, and I'm going to fuel it up, put my filler neck on, and we'll see if this thing fires up. Okay guys, got some fuel in the tank. I don't think I got my 5 gallon that I wanted, but it should be a quarter, maybe a little less than a quarter of a tank in there, according to my figures. I hooked the battery up. The battery's been unhooked for weeks. Hooked the battery up. Battery feels strong enough to go. I did turn the key off camera to see if the fuel pump would kick on, and it did not. I was a little confused at first, but then I remembered that right here, this ground on the taillight harness has to be hooked up on the white truck. Now on this truck, it didn't have to be hooked up until I swapped fuel pumps. Then I had to sand off a little spot there and bolt that on the frame, and bammo, the fuel pump started kicking on. So it's pretty obvious when the fuel pumps on these aren't working. You can hear them. So I am going to turn the key here. I don't know if you heard that fuel pump, but the fuel pump ran. I got a bolt here. I don't want it to fall off when she fires up, because I know it's going to fire up. I don't like that fuel gauge. It looks way under quarter tank, and I don't think I'm way under quarter tank. Still kind of a hard start there. I don't know if it's because there's no fuel in the line or what, but she's running, guys. Back to running. Still has a rough start. And now the fuel gauge says low. That's really going to be disappointing if that doesn't work. Really going to be disappointing if that still doesn't work after swapping that pump. I will say it's probably on a weird angle here. It's on the hoist. It may be tipped. It may be tipped one way or the other. It might be. It might be tipped one way pretty good. So hopefully that's the problem with that. But yeah, it's running. I don't like that little bit of a hard crank still. Hopefully, like I said, it's just because it's been sitting here. But we'll find out. It could be the fuel pump regulator that's inside the intake. Well, I don't know why they did that. Makes it so hard. The 99 to 07 pickups, it's outside, and it's just an easy swap to swap the fuel pressure regulator. But like I said, guys, it's running. And like I said, if you have a fuel pump problem that's not working, you might want to try your ground back here by your taillights, because that's got to be grounded. So I guess that's my little tip. Well, guys, I guess that's it for phase one of this truck. At the rear end, pretty well figured out. I forgot about the body lift, and I took the filler neck from the white truck, but I forgot it doesn't have a body lift, so I got to get some longer hoses to extend the fuel filler neck, or it won't reach the filler on the bed. Totally forgot about the body lift on that, but I've already got some hoses ordered, so that shouldn't be too bad. Took the truck out for a little drive in the field there, and besides being rough, it's a little rough because when you take the beds off these things, they really get front heavy. So she rides a little rough, but that's to be expected, I guess. Those front tires are shot. But yeah, I got the frame. It's got it dirty, but whatever, it's gonna get dirty once I take it out anyway. So yeah, I kind of rinsed everything off. Bled the brakes. Something doesn't feel right. The brake pedal goes way down. It seems to have good braking power, but the pedal goes way down. I'm thinking maybe master cylinder. I might throw one of those in when I do the front of this truck. So basically, I've got from here back kind of worked out. Now I got to go from here forward. And that front end is in bad shape. So I think I'm going to order the front end parts for this thing. And while I'm waiting for them to show up, I'm probably going to work on the cab. I have the rockers and cab corners already. Actually, I have the floor. I got a piece of the floor. Actually, I got a 80 something S10 floor. They don't make floors for these trucks for some reason. But anyway, I got some parts to work with, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll just start addressing the body. I got to do something with those front cab mounts because they're in bad shape. But I'm real happy with this rear end. Real happy with that. So, yes, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Hopefully, you've enjoyed it up to this point. Look for more videos on the rest of the truck. I'll see you guys.